Excited to be here today and to attune to all of your energy and to assure you that you are moving rapidly toward a beautiful birth in your consciousness and a tipping point in your energetic field as light is emanating around the planet. And although from your perspective at times it feels a bit murky and muddy and there is, of course, suffering and pain and difficulty. It is that a lot of energy is surging on your planet in waves and waves and waves of love and energy are appearing and attuning to your frequency. And many, after the winter solstice, will be coming in into your realm and your experience through the wombs of many mothers who will be giving birth to babies that are carrying a fully awakened and activated DNA, in which even the testing of their biology will show that they are a bit different, and their energy will emanate so much light that it will start to tip the consciousness. All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Kelly. I'm known as the Angel Lady. And every Wednesday, we have a free call open to everybody, and our free members get to ask questions. So they get on Zoom, they raise their hand, and they ask universal questions that will support all of us on our ascension journey, receiving messages from the Angel Raphael. If you would also like to be in our community and get on Zoom and receive the link and ask a question, it's open to everybody. It's free, and there should be a link below on YouTube where you can click and join our spiritual community. So today I'm going to channel the Angel Raphael like I do every week. I've been doing this for 37 years. The Archangel Raphael is the main frequency that I connect to. And it's interesting, I'm in the midst of teaching a class right now called The Violet Flame, working with Saint Germain, and we're working with all the different rays and the different energies that are coming in. And today we worked with the emerald ray, the green ray, which is the focus of Archangel Raphael. So it is one of my favorites, and it's a very powerful vibration for healing. And I know a lot of people out there are dealing with needing to heal physically and emotionally. And sometimes we don't know where to go or what to do. And of course, we all know, right, that the answer is within, but sometimes we need some support. And so we were able to go to an etheric place called the Healing Temple, the Jade Temple, which is residing in an etheric crystalline city in a realm in Mount Shasta. And it's a really beautiful place to go at night. And so you simply intend to go there, and there's different ways to get into the mountain, but simply by getting into your light body Merkaba and just allowing your body to relax and intending to connect with it, you can enter there. And it's filled with green and waterfalls, and it's so magical. And beings will come. And for me, Archangel Raphael comes, the Divine Mother Mary is very present. That's the twin frequency of um, of Raphael, and the Syrian elders and beings of light will come and do hands-on healing. And it can be very profound and helpful. So if you're going through something like that and you want to attune to that frequency, just do it before you go to bed at night. It can be helpful. And who knows, maybe today, if we have time after the questions, we can energetically travel there together and receive some healing. Each ray, in the traditions of the teachings comes on a certain day. I don't always abide by that, but Wednesday does happen to be the day of the green ray. So it seems appropriate to connect with that vibration. All right. So if you are listening to this for the first time, the way that I channel is I close my eyes. I rock back and forth a little bit. I make some toning sounds, and then I'm going to say, hello, kind of like that. And wherever you are in the world, you're going to say hello back. And that helps you connect into Archangel Raphael's energy. And just remember from the late 80s when I started channeling Raphael, Raphael would say the words are secondary to the frequency that you receive through the transmission. So our mind loves to be engaged and talk about all kinds of things and get answers and feel like we know what to do. But it's really about dropping into the heart, opening the heart, softening the heart, coming into the presence of the here and now. All right. So with that, if you've been asking lots of questions, let's keep, I guess Casey tries to keep some track of it. We'll have people who've never asked questions maybe before, and we are excited to be with all of you. All right. So here we go. Hmm. So first, let's just drop into our heart and take a nice deep breath. And just create a sacred container wherever you are, that you're in a loving and protective space. And know that this is a safe space. And I'm just opening up to be a vessel of service to the best of my capacity to be a clear channel of love and light. Mm. Oh. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Wow, wow. We are all so very excited to be here today and to attune to all of your energy and to assure you that you are moving rapidly toward a beautiful birth in your consciousness and a tipping point in your energetic field as light is emanating around the planet. And although from your perspective at times it feels a bit murky and muddy, and there is, of course, suffering and pain and difficulty, it is that a lot of energy is surging on your planet, and waves and waves and waves of love and energy are appearing and attuning to your frequency. And many, after the winter solstice, will be coming in into your realm and your experience through the wombs of many mothers who will be giving birth to babies that are carrying a fully awakened and activated DNA, in which even the testing of their biology will show that they are a bit different, and their energy will emanate so much light that it will start to tip the consciousness, meaning it will create a shift. And we do not like to speak of the darkness nor give it attention in that way, although it is part of everything and integrated into the light itself. But there is a bit of a battle, should we say, without attaching to that idea, that is unfolding. And the tipping for the emanation of this light will occur as these energies are coming in at this time. And so we want to assure you to maintain your vision and your focus toward the creation of what it is that you are wanting to align with and attune to, not only for yourself, but for the collective as a whole. And so, what is it you are wanting to talk to us about at this time?
Hi, Raphael. So we have so many questions here, which I'll get to soon, but I have one question that I want to start with, which is about the relationship of authenticity and healing. And authenticity, and you just talked about this battle of what is authenticity and is stepping into our authenticity of greatest service to the light.
Authenticity in regards to a vibration is in equal measure to the vibration of love. for it is of extraordinary importance. And it is that when you can align with authenticity, you're entering into the seed point, which we were speaking and sharing with you today in class. Which is the origin and the essence and the truth as you enter into the temple of truth of who you truly are at your core, with a willingness to allow yourself to express it, to give yourself permission in order to do that, in which the veils of illusion and the shackles of fear and concern for others in the way in which you are perceived begin to dissolve, and a light begins to emanate more and more freely from your energetic being and an expansion into your light body. And so authenticity of what it is you're truly feeling and experiencing is of the greatest importance. Now, whether it can always be shared verbally or it can be expressed in other ways, depending on how it needs to present itself, is up to your own discretion. But it is of the utmost importance.
All right, thank you, Raphael. And another question that I had was in regards to soul contracts, where perhaps family members that we have today, we might have been in relationship with in a past life, and we're reoccurring the same patterns of that life in this life. What's the purpose of repeating and the forgetting?
Oh, well, the purpose of repeating in the forgetting is in the remembering. It is in the remembering of the fact that in the process of the original unfolding, a completion of unification that was needed in the recognition of one another and your wholeness was not able to come into fold. And so it gives it another opportunity for that clearing or that healing or that unification of a part of self, which is the fragmented piece of self, which everything is, which is yourself, to come back into wholeness. And so anything in which you're in relationship is a part of who it is that you are. And all things are a part, of course, of who it is that you are. But deep relationships within an inner circle are pieces, in a sense, that are closest to you, asking to be integrated into the wholeness of your entire energetic being.
Okay. Thank you, Raphael. So I'm going to open it up to other people now. And remember, we're doing one question, and it's going to be a universal question. Awesome. Great. So, Heidi, I'm going to call on you first today. Let me make sure that you can unmute. Try again now.
Okay. Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Thank you. Um, I was wondering, could you please tell us about Mary Magdalene's time in Egypt and her connection with the Temple of Isis at Philae? Did she study and do training there?
Oh,
Thank
oh.
you.
Yes. There was a strong connection here, and her vibration and that of similar ones at that particular time carry the same origin, or as you were speaking of soul, in a sense, that appear within forms that are recognized throughout time and history that are arising. And it is her energy in particular that will be in the forefront of many of your minds and hearts as it is coming closer and closer in its approach, as it is energetically carrying a vibration in which will a birthing will be occurring and taking place, as we have been speaking of at the winter solstice, and her connection to Egypt and relationship and attunement to Isis. And these teachings will become more relevant, more understood, more enlightened, more light shall be shed on them. However, it is also important not to get too entrenched in the dogma, because her energy is actually to break free from trying to fully understand with the mind the unfolding of her process in her mystery schools and her connection, but to drop more into the heart and to come into a resonance with her vibration and the recognition of her beauty and the light that she has carried and the energy that has emanated and moved through her, through the union and attunement to her and Yeshua, and that line of energy that is prevalent around your planet, that is now going to be seeding along with other energetic vibrations, not just hers, that are of a very powerful feminine energy to bring forth the Magdalenes, and in a sense, who many children, as we were speaking of in the beginning, will be coming, and they will be carrying a light that we are so excited about, because there has been an opening, and this opening is because of all of you. And it is because you have all been able to attune and elevate your vibration enough to create this spaciousness for this frequency, we will call it, that is approaching your planet, that is filled with love, to be able to enter and to be, in a sense, seated and to come forth onto your planet. And Mary Magdalene is very instrumental in the unfolding of this as a vibration, as an energy, as an archetype, as a knowing, as a being of love, whose presence will build and build and build in the coming weeks and months, to make herself known in this energy, as it gives birth to the beginning of these waves of energy that will be surging around your globe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if someone has a whiteboard setting, let's make sure that is off. All right, Nicole, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
So my question has to do with the concept of the underworld. There's all these various resurrection myths around the world, and the Tuatha De Danann were said to have like disappeared into the other world, and it seems like there's a very connection. And then there's like this physical aspect of all these underground tunnel and cave systems around the world. And so I was just wondering if you could talk to us about this concept of the underworld and how it may pertain to inner earth civilizations, and what is the relevance of this domain for us today.
Well, we can share this, but it would be somewhat difficult to fully accept. Ah, but this is perhaps something that many will begin opening more to in their understanding. There are many myths that are dwelling. What is this noise? Mm.
Someone that needed to be muted, don't worry.
You're very funny. It is that these places that you are speaking of are bubbling, in a sense, to the surface, in at least your conscious awareness. And even for some, doorways into these inner realms are opening and access is occurring. And these are places that appear in mythology and in an idea of folklore, and yet there is truth in their true existence and in their vibration and in their energy. And it is that when beings that have been here on the planet at different various times were unable to maintain their continuation here due to either becoming extinct through natural reasons or for human reasons that occurred, or for wars that took place over times that are not fully recognized or even written within your understanding in linear time of your own history, took refuge in many ways and attuned to the inner realms. And these realms have different names and different worlds and different understandings as places of sanctuary where beautiful cities and creational spaces that operate at a very different vibration that are quite blissful in many regards occur, and energies live and be and dwell. And it is that an entire world, just like the world that you are familiar with here on this surface of your perception of where it is that you are in time and space on this planet that is moving so rapidly, is the idea within your own construct that this is the only reality. And yet, there are many simultaneous ones taking place, including those within the earth itself. And some of those are in dimensions that are different than the vibration you are in. And so, if you were to travel with the technology that you have into the inner core of these spaces, your ability to perceive these civilizations from the vibration of the technology that you have to witness them from would not allow their appearance to come into form. But as your consciousness begins to evolve, and even your technologies merge with this higher sense of understanding and perception connected with that consciousness, your ability to have recognition and alignment with the witnessing of this takes place. But it takes place from a state in which you are in order to be able to open up enough space within your energetic field to perceive these places, these worlds, these realms. Now, these energies are coming in many ways to merge with you. So, as you are merging with them, and becoming more conscious and aware that they are there, and attuning to them in dream state and astral travel, in relationships energetically, they are also meeting you and surfacing. And that is why you are noticing and feeling a difference when you are connecting with the trees and the elements, when you are tuning to, as you are saying, the fairies at the Tata de Nunan with their vibrations and their presence are coming online, because they were not able to maintain their vibration. They were not able to maintain their energetic field in the resonance that the planet is operating in. But as that shifts and elevates, they can bleed through their realms and realities into your experience. And as your consciousness changes, you are bleeding into their realities until the two realities, as once before, come back into unification. And much is accessible and available to you in your human experience, meaning that you will walk through the forest and connect with these energies in ways you haven't before. And so you're starting to feel this a little bit now, as if glimpses of it are happening, or you'll be in the woods and something will stop, or you'll make eye contact with an animal, or you'll feel the sensation of the tree wanting to hug you, or you'll see a dragon in the stone, or you'll hear a whispering, or a bird, or something will come and begin to communicate with you. And those energies are getting stronger and stronger, and they will be amplifying more and more. But what it is that is that as the surfacing, the bubbling up from the inner earth of frequencies that are coming forward in forms in which you are familiar with and are emanating their light and becoming more alive. And this will start to become more and more and more prevalent as you are moving forward in your understanding and connection to these realms. And now it is not just the inner earth energies that you will be attuning to, but the galactic energies and the galactic beings as they are too coming in and merging more with your frequency. So what is happening is a unification, for you are talking about the union that is occurring around the planet, and the unity consciousness. That consciousness must encompass and include and unite also the galactic realms and the inner earth realms. And so your attunement to them and their frequencies will continue to become stronger. And as your first question in asking of Mary Magdalene, that vibration will become stronger. So many of these energies that have been kind of in the shadows in the past, something on the edge to glimpse into the idea of, but not really delve too deeply into, are going to be surging onto the planet and surfacing and coming into the forefront of your consciousness to support you in your evolution and to the awakening of the fullness of who you are.
Excellent. Thank you. So, Karen B., go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Kelly has created a beautiful heart-centered community. What advice would you give to those of us who want to create a healing and loving community too, that help all involved come into a fully blossomed authenticity for each individual?
Oh. It is to just be the energy itself of that heart opening vibration in which you already are as you become the magnet to others attracted to that frequency to come into union in the flourishing and cooperation of community and connection. And that although we are not attuning here in this particular moment to the person on a personal level, we can share with you that it is for you at this time simply the belief that that is so, and fully empowering and stepping into your truth that that already is and has occurred and is happening. And in that, opening up the space of invitation on an energetic level for the arrival of the beings that are to come in and attune to your frequency in order to collaborate together in a community setting to be a beacon or a sphere along the grid lines of light for the support of humanity at this time. And this is something that many are feeling right now, a need to connect, a need to be in community, a wanting to share, to be authentic, to open their hearts, to hold a vibration of love during these turbulent times where everywhere one looks, they are pulled down into the energies that are deeply trying their very best to keep the collective shackled in fear. And so any and all of you who want to step into that position of opening that, there are more and more and more people prepared and ready to come into these communities wherever they are, in whatever setting, in whatever frequency is open in alignment with love. So trust in that and invite energetically. And as the saying that many of you have on earth, build it and they shall come.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Andrea, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'd like to ask a question about oneness. I've been thinking a lot about how all humans are connected and part of the oneness. But my question is, are then all the angels and all the saints and all the avatars and all light beings and all living things, past, present, and future in the quantum field also part of that field of oneness?
Yes. Of
Okay,
Wow. Yes, of course.
thank
For
you.
as Archangel Raphael, I am you, and you are inside me, and I am inside you. And you can open your eyes inside anything as you are creation itself. You can open your eyes in the bird flying overhead. You can open your eyes in the newborn baby. You can open your eyes in the old woman crossing the street. You can open your eyes in a being on another planet. You can open your eyes as an Arcturian or a Lemurian or an Atlantean. You can open your eyes in the inner earth. You can open your eyes through the spider or the tree or the elements themselves. For it is all one in the same, all carrying the same consciousness. And particularly, it is divided for a moment in time that is fleeting, although seems eternal, in a fragmented frequency that is unifying back into its wholeness. And so, as you perceive from that perspective, with the opportunity to, in the saying, to step into the shoes of another, step into and embody another, and try to open your eyes within their own vessel, and within the vessel of the containment of spirit in whatever form it is contained in, and perceive what you can see and perceive through that process. You begin to recognize the oneness that you speak of, that it is all woven together, and there is a weaving, a fabric of your reality, of your whole experience, that is woven with a thread of energy, and that energy is love. And as you are in that vibration, and you can stand perhaps in it and even look out into the sea of your experience of whatever it is that you are seeing and perceiving, as I am that, I am whatever it is, with the focus and the energy on that. I am that. I am. And open your eyes within the vessel. You begin to really know that there is nothing separating you from anything. And it is through that state of consciousness that these shackles that have gripped many of you, and the consciousness itself, in this deep forgetting and the illusion of fear, will begin to disappear, and the veil will thin, and a doorway will open in the connection and attunement to all realms and all realities through all creation as one beating pulse of light.
So beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. DeRay, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Sorry. I have been in your classes and blown away. So that's not a question. That's just a thank you for, I can't even begin to tell you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, both Kelly and Angel Raphael.
Oh, you're welcome.
I know you're doing so much, both of you, and Casey and the whole gang. Okay. Well, so the question is about mental illness, schizophrenia, and other sorts. I, I, to be fair, I need help with that, but I think we need help with that so it's more universal. I would love your insight on how to help the individuals who are dealing with those things.
It is quite a journey to be in multiple dimensions simultaneously. And schizophrenia is one in which the soul is not fully embodied in the form, but is operating in multiple realms and worlds, and often is working very diligently on councils with others who are also experiencing what is labeled as this word schizophrenia. And the label in itself has such a negative connotation, and we understand it can be extraordinarily disruptive for the individual while they are embodied in their form here on earth and those surrounding them. And the lessons that are learned through their journeys together are not easy in their unfoldings. But with that is also an opportunity for compassion and an opportunity for recognition that there are gifts in it, even if at times they appear very cloaked and disguised. There are pearls of beautiful gifts within these diagnoses or labels that are made. And more of this is appearing for multiple reasons, not just one. But from a spiritual perspective, it is the ability to operate in multiple dimensions and in other realms simultaneously, in which the timeline is converging so quickly with so many parallel realities that it is difficult for one to navigate on a straight linear path, which can create distortion and difficulty. And so it is important for those around those experiencing this to have compassion and to bring themselves into the most coherent vibration possible, so the resonance of that coherence can help the merging of the timelines within the energetic field of the one who perhaps at times is suffering to come more into balance while they are maintaining physical form in this reality. Different from schizophrenia, quite different, is the perception, however, of other what is perceived as illness or disorder or differences in individuals who are, however, operating simply on different bandwidths and realms of reality, and have chosen at this time to be here to support the integration of those realms coming and bleeding into this experience. And so it is not always an easy path, but it is, however, chosen.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. Denise.
Hi, Raphael.
Hello.
Um, as we move closer to the new Earth and the 5D, how is the wealth gap going to change and become narrower? What is it that's going to change the equation, especially as we find billionaires are just getting richer and more people are suffering at the same time? What is it that's going to change that that ratio?
Ah, it is the people.
Okay.
It is when the people realize that they are powerful, that they are masters, that they are creators, that they are not controlled by a few. When they come together collaboratively, when they rise up in the speaking of their truth, and they know who they are, and the fear dissipates and the separation falls away in the remembering of their own mastery, because it is very few on your planet that are still holding on to this grip that many of you are experiencing. And it is as in numbers, the amount of you that are holding light refuse to be, in a sense, almost controlled by the few. Stand in union toward what it is that you are, the vision that you are carrying and you are holding. They have no chance. They will recede back and integrate into the wholeness. They will dissolve. But as you continue collectively to give them this permission, and the permission can simply even be in the silence or the complacency, then they will grow stronger because they feel they have a hold or a grip, and that you will become compliant. And so you will feel and notice a surge of rising energy. Perhaps it is perceived from your perspective as a protest, but it is not a protest for or against something, but it is one for peace, where you will stand in vigil, holding candles and singing songs of peace and holding hands in love for those perhaps who cannot. And it is the willingness to do and to serve in whatever way and capacity one can through the unfolding of these times. And so the current will change in coming months as you might feel more pressure as time passes, more of a sense of loss of way of being, until the grip will feel constricted enough that enough will break free from it and stand in their power, in the awakening of their own mastery. And in that, there is nothing that can come for you or after you or do to you, because you are then standing in the mastery of your own divinity. And from there, you are the creator of all things. And with that, you can only feel fullness within your own belly and within your own heart if all are full. And through that fullness, then, and that vibration of that love, it will begin to emanate as a wave of light around the planet. And it will be like a breaking down of what has been and a surge of something new. If you were to describe it in a way, it would be as if like a story or a fairy tale where everything is black and everything is crumbled down, and it is through the love in the heart that is seen that the color comes back, and the villages are dancing and singing again. But the rise of that comes from inside the mastery and the remembering of who you are. And so this will be occurring on your planet. You will notice a wanting to clamp down and a pushing back and a clamping down and a pushing back, until, like a beautiful rose that pushes through the cracks of the concrete into a beautiful bloom, will take place, because the innate intelligence, the life force of that rose, the presence of its inner strength wanting to reach for the light of the sun, will overcome the heavy concrete on top of it, and it will find its way through the crack. And that is what is occurring now.
Excellent. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you. Rosine. Rosine Oki.
Hello.
Hello.
So there seems to be, for me, a big difference between the times when I'm feeling connected with the new earth energy, the all that is, the oneness, and then falling back into the old energy. And I'm wondering if you could speak about ways to keep my frequency, and this is hopefully a universal question for all of us, keep our frequencies consistent, more consistent.
What is the transmutation of the energies that are arising, that appear from your perspective, that are labeled as 3D, to be integrated into the wholeness, not by the rejection that they are there, but the embracing and loving of whatever it is that they are reflecting to you at any given moment? And so it is not a pushing away of the 3D or trying to rid oneself of it in order to land in a place, or a place that is always maintained in a frequency or coherence of a blissful state. But it is the embracing of whatever is unfolding in the third dimensional experience in its completeness and in its fullest. Will it be integrated and enfolded within the larger space of what is perceived from your perspective as the fifth dimension? And so we encourage you that as you are dipping, as you might think, down in frequency, or imbued into, or dropping into the third dimension, to really be fully present in the experience of whatever it is, even though it may be labeled as something bad or negative, and to fully feel it and see that it, through that acknowledgement of it, that it can be integrated, and enfolded within the larger aspect of the sphere of your energetic being, so that it is integrated into the wholeness, so that you don't feel so much of a back and forth vibration occurring, but you're operating more from a centered 0 point frequency.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Jorika.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
So my question actually is also about mental illness. I'm wondering specifically about the people who don't have uh who are in mental institutions, who don't have legal rights to decide for themselves what happens to them. I'm thinking specifically of people who are given lots of drugs and wondering, I know, sending love, but are there other suggestions that you have for any of us to help those who seem in a very stuck position? Thank you.
Well, this is happening in many sects of your society. It is the dehumanizing of people, and drugging is one, and incarcerating is another, and ignoring famine or homelessness is another. It is pushing aside that in which one or cannot deal with, and they can be perceived as the forgotten ones. And it is that this energy and vibration is dense, and it is heavy. And perhaps the idea of sending love seems like not enough. And in many regards, perhaps it is not enough. And so it is that although it may sound cliche to bring your own vibration into complete wholeness, and how perhaps that love and that energy within self can possibly affect those who are in those forgotten states. It is that the evolution and the elevation of the frequency of the collective, the hearts would then be fuller, and the compassion would be stronger, and the willingness to have the energy when something is surfacing in one's experience, and to do what is needed to support another on their journey would come into alignment. And so one cannot go and feed all the children that are hungry, or get everyone out of a mental institution that is being drugged. But you can, if something comes into your reality, if something is in your experience, and it is in your asking for your attention, to pay attention, to hold compassion, and to take action in ways in which one can, to the best of your capacity. And that it is through the willingness not to fully have a focus on something out of one's control, and simultaneously the balance of releasing complacency around such situations is also of great importance. But it is also a vibration that blankets certain areas and places on the planet that cannot be fully freed until the dominant energy that we were speaking of earlier, that maintains a grip of control, is dismantled through the awakening of others into their mastery, to the point that that energy recedes. And when that vibration recedes, the energy that blankets the lower ground, should we say, in a sense, this is a vibration that is shackled and contained within the ramifications of these energies has an opportunity for its shackles to be removed, for healing to take place, for the avenues of energy to flow in places where it was not flowing before, because these are pockets of energy where the flow has been stopped, where there is no more movement, where it is stagnant. And these vibrations have to be shaken up in a sense, in order for the shaking to take enough place for there to be enough change from the energies that are holding on to it to loosen their grip, for the compassion to rise and energies to move and new things to be born. And so this is an unfoldment and a process within your collective as your own collective consciousness is going through these changes. And so in the interim, as the unfoldment of this is taking place, we encourage any and all of you to pay attention when it arises in your experience and how you interact with such situations, what compassion you can hold in your heart, and how you can be of assistance.
Great. Thank you, Raphael. All right. Donna Huss.
Hi, Raphael.
Hello.
By intention, can a person send energy to dissolve a joint replacement device and replace it with healing energy?
Oh, yes. However, of course, healing can take place through intention, and the power of that is extraordinarily strong. But there is a balancing at this time as you are shifting into the fullness of that as a collective to balance assistance that may come in any way, whatever way it may perhaps arise for anyone in particular, to support them on their healing journey. And so, is it possible? Absolutely. Are miracles possible? Of course, 100%. Absolutely. And yet, how does miracles appear? It is to be open to how they show up for you and to be aware when they are there and in what form they come to you. So simply sit with that for a moment, and this will support you on your healing journey.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ted Williams.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for all your love and support. So I don't think I would have been invited to ask my question if there wasn't more to add, but several people have brought up about mental illness and the relationship also with addiction. And I'm sure I'm not alone having that right here in my own family. And the more time goes by, the more I realize we have a long connection. So my question, and I feel like you've answered a lot of this on the spiritual level, but relating mainstream addiction and mental health and to support these people and ourselves in this process of dealing with addiction and mental health. Anything more? Thank you.
We are aware that there is ancestral lineage here as we are tuning in, as your frequency is coming in very strongly. And this lineage of addiction goes back in the genetic coding. And that genetic coding can sometimes be and continuously passed on through generations until you find the seed point of its origin. And as we attune to this lineage in particular, it is several generations prior of this seed point of a great trauma that occurred. And the addiction is often a masking of not wanting to feel, of course, the experience of the trauma. And that trauma, if not resolved, can be passed down through the ancestral lineage and can actually change the DNA. And in doing so, it creates within the cell whatever it needs to soak in whatever is needed to disassociate and disconnect from the trauma pattern. So until the seed point of the original trauma that has been passed through and is still within the energetic fields of the generations to come is seen and noticed, brought to the surface and healed, the addiction continues. And so it is going into the heart, into the center, and allowing an opening of a space to take place, for doorways to open to for the ancestors to appear, and a passageway through the womb center, back and back through a spiraled codes of energies to the original seed point, in which the trauma can appear on a screen and can be seen and perceived in its fullness without hiding, and the openness within the air to be known by all that is in this lineage, and a willingness to look at it and to bring forgiveness and to bring compassion, as the energetic pattern that is running through the systems can begin to collapse. And in the collapse and integration of it back into its wholeness, it breaks the thread of the addiction that is passed through the ancestral line, and it is no longer carried and passed on to the next generation. And so it requires someone somewhere within that lineage to have the energy and the strength and the discipline and the dedication to go and to work on an energetic level with the attunement to that seed point and the collapsing of the original trauma. And through that, this lineage of this experience will be severed, and an opening for creation of new experience will be unfolding.
God. Thank you.
No, you are welcome.
Thank you. All right, Marie Michelle. Hello?
Hello.
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 Oh.
Hello. This is, I think, such a great segue because the question I have is about wounds and how, like, I can understand that, like, if someone hits my leg, for example, there's a wound, there's a physical contact that happened, there's a shock. But what about wounds that are in the heart that are felt exactly this way, like it's burning, or there's like a lot of physical sensations happening in the heart, and clearly something happened for that, but it's not like someone squeezed it or poked a hole in it, or you know what I mean? It seems like that's just a curiosity question, inquiry, if you have any understanding of that offer, and if that connects also to relationship, some of the invisible threads that are there with relationships and connections, for example. And if there's a piece to that that connects to ultimately relationship with the greater cosmos, or our connection to something greater, the divine.
Ah, well, the heart is your gateway to the infinite, to the eternal, to the inner knowing, to the oneness, to everything. And of course, when there is an imprint or a wound that you are speaking on, or a tear energetically or emotionally, it creates a pattern that can get frozen and get caught in a space. And you are taught as children to clean your teeth and to brush them, to take care of them, to wash your face at night. But you are not told to clear energetically the imprints as they arise over your human experience, and to integrate them back into the wholeness so that they don't build up. And so a heart that has not been attended to, in which a release of the energetic patterns through the human experiences occur, builds up like a plaque on the heart. That's the actual, when one has a heart attack, often it is that they haven't attended to their emotional heart for a long period of time, and the blockage actually becomes physical. And so it is important to tend to the heart regularly, to take assessment of it, to talk to it, to communicate with it, to open it, to delve deep into the sacred space of the heart inside, and to allow whatever is there within that wounded space to soften and to open and to bring compassion to it as it begins to create a spaciousness. And does that interfere with your connection to the cosmos? Perhaps you are asking, in a sense, because a blocked heart is unable to attune to higher frequencies and dimensions, because all recorded information is stored of all parallel realities, all timelines, all energies converge energetically within the 0 point of the heart itself. And so, one of the most important things is the care of the emotional heart, the energetic heart, the care that many of you give to so many things, to building your muscles at the gym, or to taking good care of your hair or your skin. But it is that your emotional heart and inventory of it daily so that it remains in balance is one of the most valuable things that one can do in this lifetime. And so I encourage you to go into your heart, to soften it, to notice what might be there, to bring it out and to begin to unravel it. One of the ways in which you can do this is to start to gather and accumulate those wounds, that energy into a ball, like a yarn that is threaded, and to lay back on the seat, lay back into your bed. To feel that energy and begin to pull it and hold it within your hand, and then to find the thread that you would pull on a piece of yarn, and start pulling and pulling and pulling the energy. And you'll start to feel a pull and a tug happening in your heart. And as you pull it, invite me to come. And invite me to come to be and to hover over you and hand to me that thread. And as you hand it to me, I will keep pulling it as you place your hands back on the bed in the position of surrender, and you open your heart and you let go. And as you keep letting go and letting go and letting go, you will feel a tugging and a releasing, as if tar and blackness is being removed. And you will remove it as long as you can and as open as possible, until you take your hands and place them in the softness over your heart. And then do it the next night and the next night and the next night, until you go to gather that ball of wounds and it is no longer there, and the thread is gone and it has been released, and a softening and a healing happens, and the heart begins to rejuvenate itself and pulsate. And then it can connect, yes, with the realms and the beating heart of the core, and the realms of light and the core of the earth. And it opens up a spaciousness within your energetic body, so that the flow of energy and the codes of light within your heart can be pumped through your entire system. And that begins to create a rejuvenation and regeneration within your electromagnetic body and within your emotional body, to open up to what you are looking for at this time, which is a relationship with an open but not wounded heart.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. I have one last question for someone trying to speak.
It was me.
I
What is it?
was just gonna ask one last question to wrap it all up that came to my mind, which is there such thing as spiritual addiction? And what does that look like, and how do we watch out for that as well?
Oh, yes. It is a continuous search for something outside of self to fix yourself. You can become a spiritual junkie. And it is an addiction in which it keeps you so preoccupied that you do not need to be in the center of your heart. because it is that everything always and always has been within. And so it is in the stillness, for you cannot become addicted to meditation, should we say, for that brings you fully into balance, fully into the center of the presence of the beating of your heart. You cannot be addicted to being in the woods or the forest or laying in the grass or holding someone you love, but you can be addicted to the idea of energies that are somewhere else that are going to fix things, or the listening continuously to predictions or the energies of what is next. There is good to understand the framework of what is happening and the energies and the attunement to stay in balance, where others can support you in the vibration that you are carrying. But if you're always searching and seeking for the next thing or the next healer or the next answer, that is also an addiction to spirituality.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Many blessings, much love, and good day. Wow. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for dropping in and joining on our Wednesday call. We'll see you again next Wednesday. In the meantime, have a beautiful weekend. Sending you all lots of love. Thanks for the great questions today. And I'll see everybody. I'll see everybody soon. Okay, take care. Bye.